I mean, it's a story that, you know, everyone hopes they're not ever in that situation.
Definitely not.
Where were you and what were you doing when you collapsed?
Just playing football, something I know pretty well. I was on the football pitch with some friends during a charity event, and I just collapsed. It's a very frightening situation because there's no warnings, there are no alarms. You just collapse.
No pain.
No pain at all. And this is probably, the doctor will be more able to explain that, but it's very strange because when you wake up in the hospital, you don't feel any pain. So you ask yourself, why are you here? Until the surgeon explained the whole situation. So you went down because you've been, your heart stopped. And someone on the football pitch, thanks God for that, was able to perform a CPR. And it was probably 15 people there, and probably only 1 or 2 were able to perform a CPR and knew how to do it. And this is when I realized that this is something wrong. Out of 15 people, only 2 was able to do something, because what they did actually saved my life. Well, because when I spoke to the surgeon after the operation, he said, well, I just done my job as a surgeon, heart surgeon, but the ones who have saved your life are the one on the football pitch because they save your brain.
That's crucial.
Mendy, he was actually playing for the other team, who was the one that kept you alive until I think you were clinically dead for about 8 minutes, and so he kept the oxygen going to your brain by doing the CPR, and then the paramedics arrived with their defibrillator. I think you had quadruple bypass later in hospital, so that's very serious. Yeah, that, you know, it's
that's a lot for. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Because you realised you've been dead for 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And it just performing the CPR maintained the brain irrigated by blood. And this is when I was transported to the hospital, and then they realised. But the whole situation was very lucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Been very lucky.
Well, very sudden, as you said. No pain, absolutely no warning whatsoever. Although you say, you know, you've been very fit as a footballer, but maybe as you retire, you
change your lifestyle a bit.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, and so you're playing football, and the next minute, you know, you're waking up in hospital. You have absolutely no clue what has happened. And Chris, that's the big surprise here. He's a fit guy, no warning whatsoever.
Well, I think this is the lesson people have to learn from this situation. The same with Glenn Hoddle's situation. Fit, healthy, youngish men, right, dropping dead with a coronary. Why has that happened? There's always a reason, and it's trying to find the reason. And I spoke to David before we came on the show, looking at various possibilities, and one is your family history. Do a family health tree. Your mother and father, their brothers and sisters, and see what was wrong with them health-wise. Did they die prematurely? What did they die of? Because genetically, you might be inheriting that tendency or that increased risk of heart disease. And David has told me that his mother and his father had problems. Yeah?
My mother died in 2005 with a heart attack. My dad had many problems with his heart, and I heard that it was hereditary. So come from the family history. So you need, first of all, to check that. If you have people in your family who have been, catching any problems regarding the heart. And on top of that, checking on a daily basis what you're eating and check your body. Because men, we are not like women. Men, when it comes to go and see a doctor, for the doctor to tell you, you want to avoid that. You want to put this under the pillow and say, I'm going to check that later.
Yeah.
But also, can I just mention some other points? Checking your family tree, that's important. That might tell you something. But then also, what puts you at risk of a heart attack? Smoking, poor exercise, high-fat intake. Well, you know those. You know whether you're doing that. There are 3 things that you may not know are blood pressure, and let me bring those up on the screen. Know your numbers. Raised blood pressure. You don't normally feel that. Secondly, raised cholesterol. You don't feel your cholesterol going up. And thirdly, raised blood sugar. you may not feel any effects from that. So what people should be doing, if there's a history of family heart disease, they should know their numbers. And if you're 50 plus and you don't know your numbers, get to your practice nurse, your GP, and have them checked every year around birthday time.
And as you say, you know, that's looking after yourself, and then there is that opportunity that you could be called upon to look after somebody else, learn CPR. You could save someone's life.